Tony, welcome.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for having me here.
Of course. I am so excited to sit down with you today. It was a little over a year ago where we actually sat down with you to film your Real People, Real Stories interview. And I think it's safe to say that a lot has changed in this last year.
It has.
I know when we talked to you last year, you were what, like a year into your business. Your words, you were saying things were getting better. And here we are a year later. And part of the reason why I wanted to sit down with you is you've really become an industry leader, which is exciting. And what, second year into business?
Yeah, about to start the second year in like around 2 more months.
That's amazing, and you're doing so good. So tell me, what has been the most significant change in this past year for you?
The most significant change has been something happens on myself, learning from others, and actually reaching out for help. We're in an industry that a lot of people help. I remember I was in a call with Ken. I was like, I would have never asked for that help, but Ken was like, let me help build your business. And since then, my average direct deposit was like from 23,000 to like max like 32,000.
Wow,
and now coming up to getting like 40, 47 and getting up to the 50,000s, like kind of like doubling after that.
So Ken Weinreb, national consultant, you're thinking to yourself, okay, this guy's doing a big job. Let me pick up the phone, let me call him. And I mean, obviously he was very receptive to, giving you advice and mentoring you. How important is it to like actually network and get out of your bubble and like reach out to people that are doing better than you?
I mean, I think it's the secret for this, because you can just copy the homework for everybody. I mean, it's always reaching out for help. If they're doing something right, if somebody, for example, when I was learning sales, if somebody was saying a different close, a different intro to attract more attention, I just copied or whatever they're saying, and the same thing in ownership, right? With your team, how to drive it, how to be more structured, organized. It's a completely different skill set that you just can copy from others.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so special about our industry, because like if I started, if I bought a McDonald's franchise and the McDonald's down the street is doing way better than me, it's not like I can go to that manager, right, and be like, hey, what are you doing, and how are you selling more fries and more burgers? They're gonna kick me out, and they're gonna hope that my business fails. Like you can literally, like you said, call up, the top national consultant, and people are so willing to freely give the advice to help us succeed in this industry.
Exactly.
And so I love that was kind of what changed for you. And do you feel like in your first year you weren't really doing a lot of that because you were just kind of getting on your feet, or?
No, not at all. I'm not the type of guy that likes to ask for help at all. Still working on it, even though I've seen it, how it has changed my life, how it changed my business, and how it changed my people. But I mean, it's a key. And even though I can go to Colton, and Colton is not going to make a penny. And
sorry, just to clarify, Colton is another business owner, an ICD owner in Tampa, who's doing a really big job.
Exactly. Just as an example, right? Because it's one of my next plans. I already got my business into the type of headcount, the mentality, the culture that we can actually expand my organization. I mean, and the fact that I can go to Colton, he can tell me like, oh, this is how I structure my business. This is how I talk to my administrators. This is how I organize things. This is how I incentivize my people, right? He's not going to make a penny of everything that I do, but the culture is like, hey, even though like I'm not going to be financially incentivized by it, I'm always willing to help you with open arms, which is crazy, right? And those relationships are key for the success in anybody in this industry.
And people just want the industry to grow in general.
Exactly.
They don't want people to not succeed, because if everyone succeeds, it's better for all of us. So
exactly.
How do you stay on top? Like, what is the key here to really making sure that you kind of stay competitive?
I run my company with different principles. One is radical transparency. Something that I've seen a lot of business owners not do is that I show my team. I show my team how we're doing financially. If we're doing great, amazing. If we're doing bad, it's like, hey, guys, we need to fix this, because this is everybody's opportunities. This is the business has to profit in order for me to invest in you. The office has to be profitable in order for me to spend on your development, so you can actually get better personally, whatever that is, right? And I explain everything from the amount of money that we generate, where is the money investing, where are we going, And also, I mean, they always have access to all the information. It's like, hey, these are all the sales that you have done.
Yeah.
This is what the things that are pending. This is what we need to do for you to get better.
Yeah.
And talk to this sales representative in the office. He's one of the top sales reps.
Yep.
He follows up with the customers, so you can actually get the same metrics and stats, right? Even about myself, radical transparency about my own flaws. I tell my guys, like, hey, one of my biggest flaws as a business owner, it's my organization being more organized.
Yeah.
And the thing is that we have grown so fast in this like year and 8 months that my schedule had changed so many times.
Yeah.
The delegation has been changed so many times. The focus has changed so many times. And sometimes I've gotten around my team to say like, hey, can you guys help me with this? And then in exchange, I'd help them with whatever they're weak to, right?
Yep.
And that's why, and they were creating this culture where everybody's accountable, but also transparent, and with the candor to say, hey, I have this flaw, and hold me accountable for me to get better. And if you can help me for me to get better, it's going to be the best for all of us, right? Another one is that pain plus reflection equals progress, because a lot of you go through a lot of learning curves, right? And facing all the challenges, it's painful, right? Because it forces you to change your character, your attitude, your work ethic, your skills, and you have to be willing to like be a little bit dumb into, hey, I don't know how to talk this way. I don't know how to sell it this way. I don't know how to have this conversation. My goodness, I don't know how to interview.
Yeah.
But you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
But if you reflect every single time in what you need to improve, that's what progress is.
Incredible.
There's no failing. There's only progress. There's only failure if the pain is so hard for you that you cannot understand, so you just tap out and quit. Because you cannot do it. Either you reflect on it and adapt, and that's one of the main principles. Those two, radical transparency and pain plus reflection equals progress for us.
I love that. And I love that you when I asked you that question, you went right into like what you're doing for your people, making sure that they understand their opportunity and what you're going through, and even the financials. I mean, what you showed me last week, I think your wire was like $47,000. I mean, if I'm a new person in your office and I see that, like that's motivating. And so I love that you are open with like really sort of exposing yourself and being vulnerable with your team so that they see like you're in this for them and you want everybody to succeed. Yeah.
Of course. And I mean, a couple of minutes ago, I just showed you my wire from this week. It was 47,000. We gross profited 23,000, right?
Yes.
Net profit of around $11,000 to $12,000 this week.
Amazing.
And obviously it's motivating for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I can tell, I don't know, one of my guys, I think this week we're getting in like the new office. I have to wire $25,000 to the leasing form for the first month deposit and all that.
Yeah.
I think we're losing like, I don't know, like $9,000 this week. It's like, holy, like, but guess what? We're a cash flowing business.
Yeah.
So we can make it up next week. In 1 week I can make that up, right? That loss, I can actually make that up the following week, and I show them how.
That's cool.
Right? And I think being transparent and that vulnerability, but showing like, hey, guys, we need to get our stuff together, and this is where we're at. And I'm in the trenches with you, whatever you guys need in the stage of the business that we are. Let's do what we can in order for us to live this company. And they take ownership of it once you're transparent and honest of how you're doing, who you are, and what are the financials for the company too.
I agree. That's cool. I don't think any other industry is like that.
Exactly.
It's a very special place, that's for sure. I want to go back to the interview that you did, because one thing that I really loved, you talked about your parents. They are from Mexico. You are a child of immigrants. And you were born in Mexico, born and raised in Mexico.
Born and raised,
So what I would love to kind of bring back from your interview is when you said that your parents' ceiling should be your floor. And as a daughter of immigrants, I really resonated with that, because I think there's something to be said about seeing the sacrifices and the hard work that our parents put in, and then we come to this country that is flooded with opportunity, and it just is motivating to want to give back to our parents. And I saw a statistic the other day that in 2024, nearly half, so 46% of Fortune 500 companies, so all billion-dollar companies in the world, were founded by immigrants or their children. Why do you think that is? And do you feel like coming from that dynamic, or coming from Mexico and having the opportunity here, do you feel like it's really driven you to achieve the level of success that you have?
How honest can I be with you?
Please be honest.
Fully honest?
Yes.
I think the main characteristic, I think America's a great country.
Yeah.
It's a great, great country. But I do believe sometimes you have lost its principles of the free market, of working working to become an entrepreneur, right? It's one of the main cores that I actually founded this country, right? And when you come from a different country where the opportunities are not as high as the U.S., you come with an attitude of gratefulness. Yeah. You're just grateful about the opportunity, and when opportunity, the right attitude, right, and the will to get better just combines, it just explodes, right? Yeah. And even some of my best people are immigrants. One of the top performers, it's been this guy Malik that is from North Africa, from Tunisia. Wow. Right? Yeah. And he comes here and it's like, he comes from a business, his dad is a business owner in Tunisia, but he knows about the politics, the social situation, the security situation, about building a business over there and building a business in the U.S., right? Yep. And he comes every single day with that grace and that gratefulness about, like, hey, let's do this, let's work, and let's make it happen. Yeah. I think that's the main principle. A lot of people don't appreciate the opportunity when you have it, and I think the mindset to do more. Yeah. And do you feel like that still drives you today? It does. Yeah. Love that. I also want to talk about how you were a professional fighter. You have 2 world titles under your belt. Yes. That's kind of cool. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, what type of fighter, and like, how did you get out of that and get into sales? I mean, I started fighting since I was 7 years old, right? Wow. No. I mean, my sister's way older than me. I almost grew up like an only child. Yeah. And my dad is passionate about baseball. Yeah. Probably if he wanted to, he just wanted me to be a baseball player. But because of some cartoons that I saw since I was a little kid, I was like, I just want to fight, right? Of course. And I remember I started karate when I was 7 years old. Then I started boxing at 12. I remember I did 22 fights of amateur boxing behind the backs of my parents because they didn't want me to box. You didn't tell them. But I remember one time I was coming back from a fight. I drove to another city. Yeah. My hometown is Mexicali, right? Yeah. I drove to TJ for a fight there on my own, right? And then I come back and I remember taking my shirt off and putting on the trunk of my car, and I was 16 at the time. Hopefully no bruises on your face. There was no bruises on my face, but there was blood in my shirt. Oh my gosh. It was a white shirt, but it wasn't my blood. It was the other guy's blood, actually. That's funny. And my mom sees that shirt and was like, Tony, what are you doing? Yeah. I was like, sorry, I just won an amateur fight in boxing in TJ, and then I started combining the karate that I knew with boxing, and then a little bit of jiu-jitsu. Yeah. But the main world titles were in full contact. Wow. The last world title that I fought was in New York. I remember fighting there, and my dad was in my corner because my coach couldn't get there in time because of the snow, the flights, and all that. And I mean, it was a great fight. I remember my dad crying in the corner because he didn't know what to tell me. And I remember seeing another pro fighters there, other world champions. One of them, Raymond Daniels, Jack Felton. I remember that guy was outside the ring telling me, "Get the center, use your right leg, take care of this," and then just like, okay. And your dad's like, what he said. Whatever he says. But I felt my dad's inspiration. Yeah. And I remember in that tournament, I had to fight for that league. I had to do 7 to 9 fights, something like that, because I wasn't ranked, because I didn't fight in that league. Yeah. But because of the title that I won the previous year, I was qualified to go. Yeah. I remember he told me, hey Tony, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. If you want to stop fighting, stop. Yeah. Because it was crazy. It was crazy how many fights I did in a whole day. Yeah. And I was like, nope, and you're not gonna tap out for me until I win this.
Wow.
It just showed. I remember I wanted to prove my dad that I was going to live my life that way.
Yeah.
I was going to fight, and I'd rather die in the ring than not accomplishing something. No, honestly.
I believe it.
I remember the doctor checking me. All my muscles have hypertrophy, all from my neck to my legs, my back, everything.
So how'd you end up stopping? Once you got the 2 world titles,
so
you're
once
like, all right.
I had to, well, I could go to Glory to fight, full contact, and then qualify for the UFC camp. I won a national title and also in kickboxing. I did 2 Glory fights, and then it was a time for me to decide if either continue fighting or go to the U.S. And study. My parents didn't want me to continue fighting at all. And also did all their research about retired fighters. It told me we're 98 or 100% of the fighters after 35.
Yeah.
They develop cognitive disabilities in their brain, and they showed me the dark spots that you can see on the scan on the brains, and it was a tough decision because I created an identity around that.
Yeah,
right? And I remember my dad told me, I don't care if you make $10 million, $100 million, even if you're famous, if it happens that you're 50, 45, 55, 60, I'm still alive, and you cannot take care of your family because of one of these things that can develop inside your brain, it's not. That's not, you're not gonna do that to me, to your mom, or to your wife or your kids.
Yep.
And he told me but in exchange, I will pay for your college so you can go to the U.S. And I was like, I know. And it took me 2-3 months of just thinking, and I just did, and it's okay, let's see what happens. Yeah. And because one of my principles is it's to honor my parents.
Of course.
And that and it makes sense. And it made sense. They make it make sense to me. They sold me on that, right?
They're the original salespeople.
And I remember getting into, and actually my dad was one of the best salesmen before he started his own company. And I got a little bit depressed when I went to San Diego State.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like you kind of gave up on a dream.
Yeah. But then I saw a business incubator, and I was like, well, that's competitive. Let me distract my brain from not training for competition. Totally. I was still training there. Yeah. And doing the startup world, and that's how I got into the startup technology world. And
that's cool.
Yeah, building that. And I said it in the previous interview, but I represented San Diego State in one of the biggest company tech pitches between universities. Yeah, pitch competition at TCU actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, that they host. I think it's the biggest. University pitch competition. For all the business incubators that all the universities have, and I represented San Diego State.
That's so cool. So that's a perfect segue to my next question. So your experience with fighting, what do you take from it now in your own business?
Look, this is what it takes to win a world title. Yeah. It takes years of dedication. Yes. It takes years of discipline, and this is something that I tell my guys. This is what I relate fighting into business, right? Because you can diet for months. You can train for months. You can do all the right things, right? You can still show up to the ring and lose a fight. And you win nothing. Right? And I remember me going to the field. And it was my first 4 weeks. I froze because of my language barrier, because of I'm actually an introverted guy by nature. Yes, I can get into a ring and fight, but I'm an introvert. To be honest.
Interesting.
And I have to change that part of me. And I tell my guys that, hey, you can still do all this stuff. And it's but I should be entitled to this pay. No, that is what you're worth. And I remember my first paycheck. I think it was kind of low.
This is when you were a sales rep.
Yeah, like a sales rep, starting my first paycheck, but it was but that's okay, because that is what I'm worth.
That's what you were worth that week.
Exactly. It's like me training, I don't know how to jab. It's hey, that's why people are punching me, because I don't know how to do my timing, my distance, anything. It's just reps and reps and reps, but guess what? the more I hone a skill, like the same I can do a jab or a kick or I don't know, like whatever in fighting, it's the same thing in the skill of sales and business, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people come with an employee mindset
Yeah.
to be like, even if you suck, I should be entitled to this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is maybe performance then is not for you.
Yeah.
And that's why there's not a lot of like world champions and there's not a lot of like business owners because in order for the marketplace to pay you what you're worth, you have to perform. If you don't want to have that weight of performing, performance is not for you.
Exactly.
Allow yourself to suck and kind of just like, and a lot of employees say this because a lot of my friends are employees. They're just like, hey, it is like, why work harder if I'm going to get paid the same? Exactly. I would have thought the same thing, right?
If there's no incentive.
There's no incentive. If you don't like what you're worth, then maybe either you get better or performance is not for you.
Exactly.
Then just get a regular salary and hourly.
Yeah. And so how do you get better?
Exactly. Just pick up
Network
the
with
phone.
the guy next to you. Yeah.
And this is what I relate like my sports background to business because I can still do the right things and I cannot see the results. But guess what? I can pain plus reflection equals progress, right? I can still did all the hard work, but if I reflect on what I could have done better, then what is it gonna take me to beat that guy to get that world title? Okay, let me look at the video. Let me reflect. 'Cause losing is painful, but training is going to be painful. Let me reflect. It's like, okay, how can I get better at the sales? How can I get better at recruiting? It's like, oh my goodness, I have to track this, right? And that's how progress is done. And that's how I've been almost doubling my direct deposits from 20 to 25 to 47.50.
Always looking at what you could do to get better. And what you were saying earlier, just like owning your results.
Owning.
It's yours. Own it. What are you going to do about it?
I cannot blame anybody but myself. And that's what I told my team. It's building that culture of owning. And I had this conversation with my whole team because a lot of people expect people to happen to them. They don't pursue it, right? Look at my office. There's minimum out of the 30 guys, 7 guys that are doing like from $1,800 to $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 every single week.
It's incredible,
right? If your leader is not helping you, then be humble enough to go to those guys and you own your results. You own it, right? If I know I want to get better at something, I have to own my own progress, and it's what I told my team, and that's something that I think that's why we have gotten better. Because I coached them in their individual goals. I was having a one-on-one with one of my leaders in my office. And it's like, okay, I told him, I need to get better, Tony, because I had a bottom line with him. It's like, okay, how many sales do you think you can do? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I told him, like, okay, you were kind of like improving. You did 8. Can you give me 12? No, I can do way more than that. What do you think you can do way more than that? Because Joe did 27 apps last week, and Barra did like 31. And they're looking at that so that it becomes credible. It's like, okay, then do your minimum 15.
I love that.
I got 20. I was like, okay. They're not bounding into anything. I'm incentivizing competition to take ownership of their own development. And coaching them on those selfish individual goals that is going to help the actual company's goals at the end of the day.
That's cool. Your employees are really lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. And I think it's so great that they have so many examples around them that they don't really have to venture far to network and figure out how to get better. So the last thing I would love to ask you, for an inspiring entrepreneur who's maybe just getting started in our industry, if you had to think back to whether you were a sales rep, now 2 years in, looking back in hindsight, what would that be that would have helped you excel a little bit quicker?
Network faster. Network faster, because I remember Van telling me like, hey, Tony, nobody knows you, but by this or another, everybody has to know. You just like talk to people, CC me on emails, right? But I was like, no, like why? Like why am I bothering them? But it's my same. It was the same limited thought about you going to the field, going to a customer. It's like, I feel that I'm bothering them. No, I'm actually helping them. It's the mindset that I had to change. I am really stubborn. I'm trying to become a better student. I am not the best student yet. And that's why a lot of people are better than me. And I appreciate that because I see them and silently trying to get them. And Moving forward, what are the principles and the actions that I've getting me better up to this point? I'm just gonna double down on them, asking more questions, copying other people's homework, and networking out.
Yeah, I love it. Great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so
got
much,
this.
Tony. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I look forward to catching up with you again. Hopefully next year we'll do a follow-up.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Will do.
you.